Q2 was probably one of the most exciting periods in our company's history so far. In May, we shared we'd started building out our US team. We then released Ear 2 Black, along with some exciting new features for Nothing X. And then finally, on July 11th, the much anticipated Phone 2 was launched. In this jam-packed quarterly update, we're going to be hearing from Julie, Bruno, Tim, Carl, and our community board observer, Lewis, and we've got some pretty big news to share with you, so stay tuned. First up, I'm going to be speaking to Julie to recap the Phone 2 launch, so let's get into it. Julie, welcome to the quarterly update.
Thank you for having me.
We've just launched Phone 2, of course. I think most tech brands have a very kind of fixed and traditional way of launching products. That's normally a keynote in front of an audience, in an auditorium. But by now, our audience knows that we like to do things a bit differently. Can you give us a quick lowdown on what happened with the Phone 2 launch?
Sure. So because we want to make tech more fun again, how can we do that if our CEO isn't fun? And Carl's been stressed, the launch, and he's been stressed for years, to be honest, ever since he created the company. Harry's idea is basically, let's get him to do the thing that he hates doing the most, which is roller coasters, because he's terrified, genuinely terrified. It's kind of fulfilling the brand mission in a way. Carl's going to do it right if it's for the brand. So you had this crazy concept of doing this like vloggy style keynote that feels really natural and kind of emulates the OG YouTubers like Casey Neistat, who is an investor and a friend of that thing. So we all flew to New York to meet Casey. We kind of kidnapped Carl a little bit, threw him on this roller coaster in Coney Island. We didn't get fired, that's fine. He was terrified, but I think we helped him overcome his phobia at the end. And then he kind of takes the audience through this journey, like through New York, and he's like vlogging and showing us the phone. And then he's in China and he's showing us the phone in the factory, and he goes back to London and starts deep diving into a bit more like our design philosophy and OS, that kind of stuff. And it was just a really fun product to be part of.
Yeah, I think the hard work definitely paid off just from seeing the reaction in the comments on the Discord and all that sort of stuff. Super positive. But one question that I see all the time is around whether Carl's reaction was real. Is he genuinely that scared of roller coasters?
So good question. And the answer is yes, he is. Which I was surprised by as well, to be honest. And I think Casey genuinely thought it was like a bit that we were doing. So on the day, he was like, oh, this is real. And we were like...
And obviously another huge part of the Phone 2 launch was our global drops. Can you give a quick summary of what those were about and how they were received?
Yeah, sure. So these were the first chance for our users to experience Phone 2 in person in these offline in-person events in 23 cities around the world. It was a chance for us, the team, to also meet you guys. We met hundreds of you, and it was just really fun and wholesome.
Yeah, I went to the New York one, the kiosk. And obviously we had Carl there as well, serving customers, which was kind of amazing to see a CEO in the thick of it, selling phones. Julie, thank you for the lowdown on our launch. Up next, I'm going to be speaking to Bruno about Nothing OS. So Bruno, Nothing OS. This is like a really big topic for us this year, and we've just released Nothing OS 2.0 for the first time on Phone 2. Can you give us a quick lowdown on what Nothing OS 2.0 is all about?
We already heard Carl and Laden talking on the keynote about how every decision we make design-wise is all about making interactions with a smartphone a lot more intentional. We want users to definitely feel more mindful about the way they interact with their digital content. Obviously, we created a lot of new features around reducing distractions, the whole thing about the icon packs, etc. Also, all the customization features we have available for our users. They are not just about the mindfulness, but also a way to make that experience their own as well. So for us, it was really important to have this subject or let's say concept of mindful customization or functional aesthetics per se across the OS.
And it must be nice for you and the team to finally have all your hard work in the hands of users. From your perspective, what has the response been like?
It's really nice to see the community like being super active and praising our work so far, but also like big players in the tech industry, blogs and even tech YouTubers and so on, really praising the software, which is something you don't usually see that much in other brands. So we're quite pleased with that. I mean, we're quite aware that we also have a lot of work to do. That's why we're now launching the 2.0.2 in early August as a software update. The main focus there will be mainly camera stability, so better image quality, especially around the HDR. We got a lot of feedback around HDR ghosting problems and things like that. There was also some feedback around volume issues. So we tackle those as well in this update. We're also going to tackle a big one, and this is optics. So far, the optics were a bit harsh in some scenarios, so we're going to tone them down and make sure everything is nice and tidy. And on top of that, there's going to be also some UI details that we are refining, like some icons here and there and some other, obviously, bug issues and things like that. There's also some other things that we're pushing in the near future, not necessarily on that update, but coming right after, let's say. We're going to add the feature to actually be able to hide apps across your launcher and your app drawer. On top of that, we also have new sound packs coming to the Glyph Composer.
Yeah, your team's always been really great at kind of collaborating with the users, so hopefully more of that in the future because we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up next, I'm going to be speaking to Tim, our CFO, and he's going to give us a bit of a finance update. Tim, welcome. It's good to have you back for another update.
Thanks, Rob. Great to be here. Hi, everyone.
So in June, we announced the closure of another funding round, 96 million USD. What is it that you can tell us that this money is going to be used for, and what other insights can you give about this round?
So you're right. In June, we announced that we'd raised 96 million from existing investors and a new investor. Actually, the fundraise was raised across quite a few months of the first half of the year. So we closed about 2/3 of it back in February and the remainder of it in kind of April, May, and we announced it in June, as you said. In terms of what we're going to use it for, we now have 450 people in Nothing around the world. So the cost of running that resource, including offices and all the things that you have to spend to have people in the business, that's where a lot of it goes. Also, on top of that, we have ongoing research and development costs. So you'll have seen when Carl's done some of his videos that we have a big R&D lab in Shenzhen, particularly, where we do all the kind of water testing and that kind of stuff. All those things cost cash. The great thing about this 96 million is it gives us enough money to do the Phone 2. So we're already partway through that now, and hopefully we'll bring some more money in as a result of doing Phone 2, and that gives us the cash as well to do future programs.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing. And I guess another question I have around this investment is, aside from capital, what is it that you get from the new investor?
I mean, it's a really important thing. So you bring a new investor in. Actually, the process of getting that investment is quite valuable for the company. So Highland Europe have come in. They go through a diligence process. So they come in and they meet with us. They kind of look at our processes, look at what we've got, look at our intellectual property, meet with the team. And that process that you go through is actually quite valuable for the company because it's a chance for us also to examine, are we doing everything right? Are there things we should change? So that's the first thing. Actually, the process is really important, but actually ongoing. What we get from our investors is introductions to other companies, so they're really well connected because of all the other work they're doing on different projects, and just ongoing. Actually, having them on our kind of list of investors, it kind of opens doors with other companies. So when you talk to other people, in particularly in finance, and they see who you've got invested, then it can be kind of a good badge to get you into places.
Awesome. And on the same day that we announced the closure of this round, on Discord, we also mentioned that we were investigating doing another community crowdfunding round.
Yeah.
Has there been any development on this?
You're right. Obviously, this is something that's really important to us. So where we are with this right now, it's complicated because over the past year or so, since we did the last one, the community has grown a lot. It's in different places than where it was. So we're all over the world, in America, in India, all the way across Europe and the rest of Asia. So we're working that through from a legal perspective, and we're in the process of building that plan.
Tim, thanks for joining us once again and sharing some insights. Up next, we're going to be hearing from Carl, who's got a pretty big announcement, so I'll hand it over to him.
Hi everyone, I've got some really exciting news to share. You know how Nothing's vision is about making tech fun again? Well, today we're taking a big step forward in making that a reality. Different consumers want different things. So today we're introducing CMF by Nothing, a new range of products that make better design more accessible. Over the last couple of years, Nothing has shown that it can break boundaries in industrial design, and we believe that we can make good design even more democratic and impact more people. So what's the problem that we're trying to solve? Well, currently, when you look at the value segment within the technology sector, there just isn't a lot to get excited about. Good quality seems like a false promise. So Nothing and CMF by Nothing are different brands, but they share some similarities. We're a very design-led organization, so that same level of high-quality, high-standard design is going to be seen both in Nothing and also CMF by Nothing. And we're also a very user experience-led company, so we want the product to not just look good, but also work really well. So that same attention to the user experience will also be felt across these two brands. So what's the difference between Nothing and CMF by Nothing then? Nothing will keep focusing on design innovation, and we're going to keep pushing the boundaries there. Nothing products are going to be premium products with the highest end components and the best performance. And they'll also feature the latest technology, so you always get the latest and greatest with Nothing. CMF by Nothing, on the other hand, is going to be focused on clean and timeless design. It's going to be accessibly priced so that more people can get access to our ecosystem. And it's going to feature quality that's very hard to find in this price segment. The Nothing community has given us feedback that they want to see better design and better quality extended to more people. And we're excited to finally be able to deliver. CMF by Nothing is run by a separate team within Nothing to ensure that there's no distraction from our main products. Later this year, CMF by Nothing will start off by launching a smartwatch and earbuds. More details will be released in the coming months, but I wanted you to hear it here first. And now I'll hand it over to Lewis, our community board observer, to provide updates from our latest board meeting.
Thanks, Carl. Hey community, how you doing? I hope you're well. I've not long stepped out of the board meeting. I've got a few things that I'd like to share with you. Firstly, I wanted to highlight some of the things a lot of you have appreciated from Nothing, including Year 2 Black, clarity on features coming to Phone 1 in the near future, the long-awaited Glyph Composer and advanced EQ features, plus a big win for our Indian community members at finally getting an India-specific social account. All of these demonstrate the continued growth and commitment to the community by Nothing. I also raised several key points from the community, including a desire for more information about the trade-in program, which was featured in the sustainability report, the many frustrations some of you have had with pre-orders and deliveries, and of course some of your comments about products and software updates. There's only so much I can say from the board meeting, but there's a lot to look forward to. I want to emphasize that the team are really taking user feedback seriously when reviewing performance, and they're also really focused on growing and developing the community, which we'll continue to see evidence of going forward. Oh, and finally, there's some exciting software features and updates coming in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled. That's all from me. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks, Lewis, and thank you to all the other team members that took part in this quarterly update. And also thank you to everyone watching. If you haven't already, be sure to join our Discord server, which is the best place to be for all the latest Nothing news and community initiatives. And that's all for now, so I'll catch you in the next one.